Welcome back once again. And the city of Sharm el-Sheikh, the city of peace and nature and tourism. Also, there was a historic moment that was taken. Of course, as we all know, there was a peace deal that was taken and an agreement between Israel and the Palestinian resistance Hamas, with the presence of Khalil al-Hayya from Hamas, and also the presence of the special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and senior advisor to the U.S. President Jared Kushner, and the head of state, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. And there was a special appreciation on behalf of the special envoy of the Middle East to the relentless efforts that were taken by the Egyptian administration and the Egyptian intelligence. Of course, very delighted to be having with us here in the studio Dr. Ahmed Ishaq. He's a professor of international law and international relations specialist. Good morning, Dr. Ishaq.
Good morning.
It's a real pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
We're going to go to a quick report, and we'll come to Dr. Ishaq later to embark over this historic moment after the report, so stay with us.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said the world is witnessing a historic moment that embodies the triumph of the will for peace over the logic of war, following the signing of a ceasefire agreement to end the two-year war in Gaza. In a statement on his official social media accounts, President al-Sisi announced that from Sharm el-Sheikh, the city of peace and the cradle of dialogue and understanding, an agreement was reached to establish a ceasefire and end the war in Gaza after 2 years of suffering and woes. Al-Sisi indicated that the Gaza ceasefire agreement comes in accordance with the peace plan proposed by President Trump and under the auspices of Egypt, Qatar and the United States. The President emphasized that the agreement does not only close the chapter of war, but also opens the door of hope for the peoples of the region for a future defined by justice and stability. The head of state also stated that the accord does not only close the chapter of war, but brings a future of justice and stability to the region. A few hours earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that Israel and Hamas had agreed to the first phase of the Gaza deal, involving the exchange of Israeli captives and Palestinian prisoners soon, and for Israeli forces to withdraw to an agreed-upon line, calling it the first step towards strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Trump described it as a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, for Israel, the United States, and all neighboring nations. Meanwhile, President al-Sisi invited President Trump to attend a celebration in Egypt to mark the signing of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. The U.S. President warmly welcomed the invitation. In a phone call, al-Sisi congratulated Trump on the success of his efforts to end the war in Gaza, describing the deal as historic and crediting the U.S. President's sincere efforts in bringing it to fruition. For his part, Trump expressed great happiness with the historic accomplishment and praised the strong friendship between the United States and Egypt. He noted the world's focus on Egypt's pivotal role in the Sharm el-Sheikh negotiations that led to the agreement. Top officials from Egypt, the United States, Qatar and Turkey have been mediating indirect talks between Hamas and Israel since Monday to reach the agreement to end the war.
Welcome back once again. Of course, where our topic is the peace agreement that was taken in Sharm el-Sheikh. I'm very delighted to have with us here Dr. Ahmed Ishaq. He's a professor of international law and, of course, international relations specialist. Good morning, Dr. Ishaq.
Good morning.
It's a real pleasure to have you here. Let us first talk about the main amendments or the main pillars of this peace agreement. Of course, this was announced almost a week ago, but everybody now is concerned now amidst all the joy and happiness from the Palestinian side and the Egyptian side, the Turkish side, the mediators, and the Qatari side who were present in this agreement. Later on, observers started to embark over the main pillars of this agreement, according to the U.S. administration.
First of all, this agreement is split to many phases. The first phase, and that will be implemented these days. First of all, there will be a stop or halt of all military operations in Gaza. So it's a very important point that we will not find more killing, bombing, fighting, murdering civilians, stopping the slaughter against the Palestinians. It's a very, very important thing, and it's the first point. The second point will be the exchange of hostages and prisoners. That's the second main point, and it's expected to be happened in it will be happened in Monday or Tuesday as maximum. Hamas and or the Palestinians will release about 20 hostages and 28 dead bodies of the Israelis. On the other side, it's expected that Israel will release about 2,000 of Palestinians. 250 of them were sentenced to life imprisonment, and it's also a good thing for the Palestinians. The third point is the aid. It's a very important thing that we will have, or the Palestinians will have, the right of the entrance of aid with a full amount, that every day for the first week we will have a minimum 400 trucks full of aid, different kinds of aid, food, water, and it's expected also to get fuel, electricity, and also the medical aid, that there is a lack of medical aid in Gaza. So it's very important to that there will be a guarantee of the access of the aid to Gaza. It's very important. The fourth point will be the withdrawal of Israeli troops. That it's expected that Israel will have a first step to withdraw outside Gaza city as a first step of this agreement. And the last thing, or the last and a very important thing, is the return of transferred or displaced persons in Gaza. As we know, more than, or it's about near about the 2 million of Palestinians of Gaza are now in the south of Gaza Strip, near Rafah. Now it's we are looking forward that all, the vast percentage of them will be back to in the middle and north of Gaza as their home places.
Of course, those pillars or those points that were included inside the agreement concludes the rights of the two sides equally. It's supposed to be equally. The withdrawal of troops on behalf of the Israeli side and Hamas side on the other hand. Hopefully it will happen. Also exchange of prisoners, the Palestinian prisoners against the hostages, Israeli hostages, including the dead, the bodies. Hopefully it will be even, but of course there are lots and lots and lots of Palestinian prisoners inside the prisons. So what's going to happen to them? This is going to remain as a vague question to be answered later on. But most importantly, that we put this agreement into effect, because this is the best solution urgently to be taken now. Do you agree or no?
Sure. It's in policy, in politics in general, nothing is taken as a one shot. It's step by step. It takes more time. It takes a lot of time till you reach all your targets. But at the moment, during what we find in the tragedy we see and that lived in Gaza, it would be the best solution, the best agreement that's reached now. So we would like to, and we would expect also there will be more steps to achieve the other targets or the other goals of the Palestinian interests. But let's say, or let's have an agreement that's the best thing at the moment.
Right. Before we get into details, the most important thing that we embark on now is the Egyptian role, which is very present. The presence of the Egyptian role is very effective, impressive. Even it was mentioned and hailed by the special envoy and the senior advisor who were coming to attend the meeting. The Egyptian role was present very much. There were certain messages delivered through this agreement, starting from the arrival of the special envoy and the senior advisor, the accompanying of our special forces, the intelligence with Khalil al-Hayya, taken in the Egyptian protection, which is very important. Nobody could ever touch anybody under the Egyptian surveillance and protection. Add to that the role of the Egyptian administration, the wisdom and the professionality and the soft power of the Egyptian administration under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. I mean, those points, let us talk or assess the Egyptian role in this agreement.
First of all, in this point, we would have, if it weren't for the Egyptian role, the Palestinians would, or this case, or this agreement wouldn't be reached. Why? First, that there were an Israeli insist to transfer or to displace the Palestinians outside Gaza with any way. Or they take all the measures, all the force, they use all the force against them to oblige them to get out of Gaza. But if it weren't for the president of Sisi, who said from the day one of this war, no transfer, no displacement, no new Nakba. If the Palestinians get out of Gaza, they will not get back. Never. So if it weren't for the Egyptian role, there would be no agreement. So we wouldn't reach this point. Other on the second point, Egypt for 2 years provides a platform for indirect negotiation and played the international mediator between both sides. So that helped to reach this agreement. Third point, here in Egypt, in Sharm el-Sheikh, that's only it's about 200 kilometers from Eilat. We find the Palestinian resistance, or the Palestinians representative making press conference on air. No one can touch them. This agreement was reached by Egypt under the auspices of President of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, man of peace in the land of peace, that we are looking forward, or we are sure that we will reach the real peace.
Right. My second question to you is concerning also the Egyptian role and Egypt's role in general. Why was Sharm el-Sheikh chosen for this peace agreement? It could have been Cairo, which would be, security-wise speaking, would be much more, a little bit expected. But Sharm el-Sheikh was particularly chosen. There must be another message behind that.
In my point of view, it was a lot of messages sent from choosing Sharm el-Sheikh. First, as we mentioned before, that Sharm el-Sheikh is not is about 200 kilometers from Eilat. It's so near to the Israeli borders. So and all the negotiations in this round were made in this city to ensure that Egypt is a strong country, is a strong mediator, that it's a guarantor for all of the Palestinian rights,
right.
and it's also land of peace for the to reach the peace
historic
agreement.
land of peace. But actually we're running out of time. I only have one urgent question, which is very important. We couldn't wrap it up without it. According to the statement of the special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and his the other envoy, they said that without the president of Egypt and his aides and his administration, peace wouldn't be effected in the Middle East, or especially in Gaza. Such a very important turmoil was taken. In your own opinion, as a professor of international law, international relation expert, who is really could be nominated for a Nobel Peace Award? Which is the best nominee now amongst world leaders?
In my point of view, if it's about me, I would nominate the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the only one who had the strength to achieve this peace agreement. We now for 2 years the only situation that support the Palestinian was the Egyptian. Egypt stands alone for many times with besides the Palestinians that stopped and refused the transfer, the displacement of them. They refused to allow them to access to Sinai in order to according to the Egyptian plans to stay beside the Palestinians and their right to have their own land.
Right, and I'm sure that pretty much a lot of people worldwide would add their voices to yours, Dr. Ahmed, nominating President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to the Nobel Peace Prize. Hopefully, inshallah. Dr. Ahmed Ishaq, Professor of International Law and International Relations Specialist, thank you so much. It was a real pleasure having you. Talking to the breakfast show, and we're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue the show, so stay with us.